Hello, everybody. I am Yolanda. I'm co-founder of Harper Therapy, and I am so excited because today I get to have a conversation with the amazing Kim Hazelton of Sensible Brain. And we are going to talk today about occupational therapy.
Yes, pediatric occupational therapy.
Pediatric occupational therapy. I always love having conversations with people who are like-minded. That's the whole purpose of these community collaborations. And we're both in the business of changing lives.
Yes.
Us with mental health therapy, you with pediatric occupational therapy. So for people who, it's kind of one of those fields that if you don't need it, maybe you don't know what occupational therapy is. So fill us in. What is it that you do?
Great. Well, let's first dispel the myth that we don't help children find jobs.
Okay.
So the reason that our profession is called occupational therapy is we help with the occupations of life, the things that occupy your time, your mind, your heart, your desires, your dreams, and your goals. And when it comes to children, those sorts of things always involve play skills, self-help skills, so learning to feed themselves and dress themselves and tie their shoes, and learning skills. So, for instance, handwriting is usually the primary reason that we see children when they're in elementary school. But we, at Sensible Brain, we see children as early, actually we've had some as young as 9 months old come in. And we actually have worked with some young people as old as, I want to say the oldest recently was 21.
So the 9-month-old, what are you doing to help the 9-month-old?
The 9-month-old, well, we actually have a feeding therapist. One of our occupational therapists specializes in feeding therapy. And so she was working a lot on the suck, swallow, breathe rhythm and helping with the oral motor skills required and that sort of thing. And then we also still... we specialize in sensory processing, and sensory processing, a lot of people aren't really familiar with what that entails, but we have more than just our 5 basic senses, and when those sensory systems are not working properly, it can affect everything we do in our lives. So imagine you've got an ear infection and your balance is off. It's just going to affect everything in your life. Well, some children feel that way all day, every day. So they struggle to reach those developmental milestones.
So along the way, on the other end of that continuum, the older clients that you see, what are you helping? So clearly handwriting and things through elementary school, right? Because another thing that we take for granted is those fine motor skills that it takes to write.
What we are finding is that a lot of the children that we work with that are beyond that toddler preschool stage, we're working a lot on emotional regulation, behavior skills, executive functions, things like that. And a lot of times, again, what a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know until I became an occupational therapist, is that these sensory processing skills are the foundation for learning how to regulate our emotions and our behaviors and be able to learn in school and retain information.
Right. And we learn best in a calm, relaxed state. But if we don't know how to navigate through emotions, then there's no learning that happens, and all of the other pieces. I love it. So, who do you love to work with?
Oh my goodness, who don't I love to work with?
It's a big question, right?
I know. I don't know. Each age and stage and developmental challenge has its own draw for me. Again, like I said, we've got 2 therapists on staff in addition to myself, and I'm hiring 2 more right now. I'm actually in the process of interviewing today. Thank you. But I think each one of us has our own little niche, and we have one that works on feeding, and then Terry, the other one, and myself, I think we tend to specialize in the emotional regulation aspect. And of course, once you get emotional regulation, then the other skills kind of fall into line like dominoes.
So what do things look like after a child and their family have been working with you?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the ways that we know that we've made an impact in a family is when they come back and say, my sister noticed the change, or the teacher noticed, and nobody knew that we were taking him to therapy, or, and so when they get outside reinforcement for the changes that they think that they're seeing and that we know that we're seeing, that's when we know that we are making that difference in their lives.
Yeah. So what do you wish people understood and knew about pediatric occupational therapy?
Well, I mean, besides the point that we don't help children find jobs, it's if you even know about pediatric occupational therapy, you're usually thinking of the school system referrals for handwriting, for things like that. We are so much more than handwriting specialists. To be honest with you, handwriting is not even something that I enjoy working on, and we very rarely actually work on it in the office because, again, once we get the underlying functions, handwriting just naturally starts to get better. But I think the thing that I would like for people to know most is that if they suspect that their child has a challenge, they should probably look into getting an occupational therapy evaluation as early as possible. So much more progress can be made when children are younger, and we are able to make progress even if we're not seeing the child in the office. We have home programs, we have the Safe and Sound protocol. I'm not sure if you've heard of that, but we implement the Safe and Sound protocol remotely, so we can set you up with the app online on your electronic device, and we're just able to do so much more than handwriting and dressing
and what is Safe and Sound program? What is the program?
The Safe and Sound protocol is a listening therapy developed by Dr. Stephen Porges, who is the originator of the polyvagal theory. And what it involves is listening to music. And for children, they have a children's program that plays music that it includes Disney tunes, Muppet tunes. So the children tend to like the music. It's not the original music, but the music has been gated and treated in a way that stimulates different parts of the brain, helps stimulate the vagus nerve to activate the parasympathetic portion of the vagus nerve to help children calm. And what they have been able to prove with the Safe and Sound protocol is that it helps increase auditory processing skills. So if you've got a child that's struggling with auditory processing, it does help with that. It increases social engagement. So being able to experience relationships in a more, I don't want to say normal, but more typical fashion. And decreases feelings of anxiety, frustration, and tension.
So again, that calm, relaxed brain allows other skills to be built and other parts of the brain to come online.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where we start. That's our first step in every treatment plan and in every session. Where are we coming in at as far as emotions? We need to get to an even keel so then we can make those neural connections.
We do a lot of similar work.
Yes, we do.
Very cool.
I probably just do it on swings and balls.
Right? So I'm so excited to ask you this question. What is something that not many people know about you?
Oh, well, thank you for asking.
Yes.
I actually am a published author. Last year,
Look at
I wrote
this.
a book.
During the middle of a pandemic.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's funny.
Kim wrote a book.
Yes. The pandemic was actually the catalyst for this book. It's called Calm Down Child, 50 Strategies to Turn Down the Fight, Flight, Freeze in Your Anxious, Stressed, and Angry Child. And the reason I did write this is because we taught these strategies over and over and over again to families in the office. And then the pandemic hit, everything shut down, they couldn't get in, and all of our parents were panicking, and they were calling and texting, and how do I calm myself down? How do I calm my child down? And I kept saying, remember, we talked about this, and I showed you this. So I literally sat down in 2 weeks and just turned it into a book.
And look at that.
All of the techniques, probably not all, but many of the techniques are in here. There are diagrams and pictures. And the thing that I think is most helpful, that I really tried to make it beneficial for families, is after I describe how to use a technique, I describe how much, how often, and how long you should use this.
So a prescription.
It's darn near a prescription, yes. Because some of them you don't want to overuse them. You can actually get a rebound effect.
Right.
So it's I've been told it's been helpful.
You don't say. So where can people find the book?
Well, it's actually on Amazon. You would have to look for it on Amazon, or you can go to our website, which I believe you said
it is. It's in the link is here. Yeah.
Yes, so you can buy it from our website or from Amazon, either one.
Yes. So Kim and Sensible Brain are here in the same way. We occupy the same professional plaza here in the Lutz area, and so when we kind of saw each other from a social distance
Yeah.
during the lockdown and everything.
Right.
And you said, I'm writing a book. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited that families have this resource.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like people to know about the work that you're doing, the amazing life-changing work that you're doing?
I mean, you've covered so much and
Yeah.
allowed me to share so much already, but truly, we just love our families.
Yeah.
We do everything we possibly can to support them, regardless of their ability to afford therapies or their time constraints or their energy, because it takes a lot of energy
Yeah.
to bring a child to therapy repeatedly.
Yeah.
So we work with families wherever they are.
Perfect. Thank you so much
Yes.
for having this conversation with us and sharing with our community about the good work that you're doing.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. All right, everyone, check out Sensable Brain, and we will talk to you soon.